Thursday craziness. My name is Vander Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. Go figure. Wow, what a day today. And also kind of like a strange day. I once again bit over way too much. Bit over. Is that the term? I don't think so. I bit off way too much again. Lots going on with the one client. The new client is wanting to do some stuff, trying to do some pre-work. Been chipping away at that slowly, but like when I look at that like outcome, it's not that great. Like not bad work. It's just I want to show more. But I'm gonna have to wrap this up and send it across and give my colleague something to react to, and then see what that gets to. It's interesting. I'm quite excited about where this might go, but time will tell. Extraordinary of the day, Francie, keeping on chipping away. I haven't spoken about it. We had a bit of a bad time with my boykie because he's been really kicking against going to the kindergarten the last couple of days. And it's a very strange feeling, especially yesterday. I didn't feel good because he's kind of like unhappy as he walks out the gate, crying a little bit here and there, crying when I drop him off. And then it's a real struggle to get him up and about and out the door. So it's been a challenge. And it's difficult for me as a parent. And perhaps you've been in the same situation, or you might think, hey, this guy is completely overreacting here. But it's also like a bit of a side effect of being South African in Poland, because I came back and I spoke to Marta about it, because I have a lot of frustration in me, because I feel even though I'm not speaking the language, and that is entirely my fault, I feel like more can be done to make me feel more comfortable that I'm not doing the wrong thing. I always feel like I'm kind of being ignored. It's a strange feeling, and I think it's not a blanket statement about all Polish folks, but I think it's mostly in my neighborhood, or kind of the vibe that goes around on this side of the river in Warsaw. It's like, I don't know. I know there's a bit of a shyness around speaking English, and that's something that I need to be empathetic about. That I don't want to force anybody to do something that they're feeling uncomfortable with. But as a South African, and this is kind of a parallel that I draw with South Africa, is that it took us some time to get used to this. So I'm not saying that we are perfect, but initially in South Africa, we were all trying to be purists about our languages. No one wanted to speak X language or Y language or what. And if you spoke a certain language, you want to do it properly. And then we threw all that out the window. And for me, it became, even in the boardrooms, about being able to understand, being able to communicate, not about being able to do a perfect sentence. Yes, I mispronounce vegetables, vegetables, lots of jokes. But you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. And I feel in Poland, specifically also when I started learning the language, that there's such a focus on speaking properly and perfectly that sometimes you feel a bit uncomfortable to even speak if you get your tenses wrong. But I know I'm probably mostly to blame for this, but I feel like even through eye contact, through a smile, through a bit of reassurance, Dad can feel better. And it's not about Dad so much. I don't want you to think that I want a little pat on the back and say, hey, you're a good daddy. But it's very difficult. I'm dropping my son off. I don't know if they're treating him badly. I don't know if he's getting hugs. I don't know if he's just going through a phase. Nothing. Marta does actually then reach out to them and have conversations, but I always feel like we have to reach out. No one reaches out back to us to let us know. And it's not a specific kindergarten. Marta might say so. I'm too scared to say it because then she wants to move the kid again, which I don't want to do. That's a huge disruption. But I haven't seen it anywhere else where someone proactively reaches out and say, hey, don't feel bad. Things are good. You're doing the right thing. We're taking care of it. And it's not a blanket statement. I've had these experiences in Poland before. I had a beautiful experience last week where I had to get a cable for my computer. The one that I had broke, and I ordered it online, and a lady phoned And I said to her, Zapraszam, nie mówię po polsku. Means, I'm really sorry, but I don't speak Polish. Mówi po angielsku. I speak English. And she chuckled, turned the phone away, she called someone, and then another person came across and spoke not the greatest English, but we communicated, and we had a bit of a laugh because as she tried to speak English, I spoke a little bit of Polish that I knew, and we laughed, and I felt a connection, and that was a good feeling. I just wish I had that feeling here, especially when it gets or comes to Francie. But also the fact that I'm a bit of an introvert probably also doesn't help. So not throwing too many stones, because stones can be dangerous. Today, I saw once again, because it's so scary. It made me think of a conversation I had long ago. I went to this kind of a bit of a touchy-feely experience design reunion with Marta a long time ago. And I remember that we were doing this kind of group work, sitting together with a bunch of people. And one of the topics that we were discussing was gender equality. And the person trying to facilitate the conversation deeply about it turned to me and wanted to hear my comments about it. And my comment then was really that I am very uncertain, unsure, and nervous to talk about it. I don't know enough. And I was really kind of attacked by one of the ladies in the group that, I should be doing things. And I felt like I was being pressured into making a stance and carrying a banner, which is in a way probably true because, I do believe in gender equality, and I've expressed it many times here on this podcast. But the thing is, where I'm very nervous is that, and the nervousness is just my way of expressing it. Remember my language, I'm a second language or English speaker myself. So see nervous in air quotes, is that I want to understand things better. I want to be learned about things. To give you an example of what I'm talking about is that my friend Terry sent me a message a while ago talking about how do you reference female as a gender and a woman as someone who identifies as a woman. There's differences. When you connect with people who are transgender, they, he, she, it's complicated things, and for some people might think it's stupid. For some people, it's very important. For me, it's something that I need to understand better. So I rather ask questions. I rather listen to what people are saying and give people the space, especially the people from those different groups, to talk. I still think, and it's also touching a little bit on some of the work I'm doing the last couple of days, is that it's really important to listen. There is, of course, also a responsibility to support and position and be in the streets and make sure that people know what you stand for. I do not deny that. But I also believe that you have to listen very, very carefully. I mean, as a South African, I don't even know, or I don't even believe that I know everything about racial justice or equality, or really deeply understand all the aspects. I know where I stand in it. When my hand needs to be raised and I need to be counted, I know what to do, and I know where I stand and where I will fight. But I also need to listen and understand more, because truly I'm just a beginner. Maybe I'm just full of beep, but that's how I feel, and that's a lot of things that I'm thinking about. So from speaking Polish and connecting with people and thinking about all these things, I still have to get some work done too, right? So, I mean, the reason I'm also bringing this up is that surprisingly, one of my favorite podcasts ever, it's a Gimlet Media podcast called, or referred to as Reply All, has been pulled off the air because in the background there's been allegations, misconduct, victimization of employees, and 2 senior personnel had to resign. So you never know where this is, or where this comes into, or how, so it's difficult. And I wonder if I have ever been in an environment where these kind of things were propagated. But you never know. Even in the fun, excellent geekery of podcasting, there's also crazy things happening, and we need to be attentive. It's not only senators and presidents that are under the what is the word, being scrutinized at the moment. We all need to look at ourselves too, right? So maybe getting a bit too heavy here and falling all over my words, but it's kind of where I am on many of these topics. I'm just a student. Hopefully a student that'll take action when it's needed. Cool. So, where do you stand? How do you feel? And please, correct me, educate me. I love learning new things and also to be corrected. But do it on the side. Sometimes I get a bit flustered and embarrassed. Okay. Thanks for listening.